Hi there. Continuing on with my book, Where Are You Me? The chapter on mind. This will be number 3. So I'll continue on where I left off. It is said that the mind is a great servant, but a cruel master. Anyone who has lain awake at night trying to push some unwanted thought from one's mind is aware of that. In its extreme, the cruel master can have one performing ridiculous, uncontrolled thoughts. I'll repeat that. In its extremes, the cruel master can have one performing ridiculous and even downright dangerous and criminal acts. The cruel master of uncontrolled thought can, if it is strong enough, have its owner, you, your physical body and emotions, touching wood for good luck 30 or 40 times a day, and making you feel uncomfortable if there's no timber available to touch. They call this neurosis. The cruel master can have you peeping through the windows and indulging in voyeurism. The cruel master can have you stealing items from department stores, even though you don't need or even want these things. Taken to its extremes, the cruel master can turn you into the Boston Strangler or an Adolf Hitler. It can nullify the real you to the point that it, and it alone, appears to exist in you. And when the cruel master is so in charge that the owner of that mind has abandoned all attempts to curb it, conscience and goodwill have died, and we have a psychotic. The cruel master is in charge of a lot more than we give it credit for. Someone honks his car horn behind you when you're driving. The cruel master flares up. He raises your blood pressure, and the fingers of your right hand as you gesture angrily from your open car window. Such upsurges of wrath can become so automatic that we actually identify with them. That bastard really got up my nose honking like that. I told him to get stuffed. Some moments later, when this automatic emotional outburst has subsided and the cruel master has gone temporarily into abeyance, we admit to ourselves that we overreacted. After all, we were daydreaming at the traffic lights. And so we have this apparent duality within us. Part of us wants this, and part of us wants that. After 3 or 4 days of intense concentration in endeavouring to tame the wild beast, it becomes apparent the beast has quieted. The wild elephant is no longer running amok, trumpeting, trampling, but he's still wild. But now he simply nudges the poles in the compound, flicking his trunk angrily from time to time. He is confined, but he is accepting it. Moreover, he moves this way and that as directed, a little reluctant at times, yet he is beginning to do what he's told. Now I'm talking about the 3rd day of Vipassana meditation, after 11 hours of meditation a day. So over 30 hours of meditation, the mind does become somewhat controlled, the ego mind. But continuing on, a week or so after the completion of a Vipassana course, despite daily practice twice a day, the wild beast reasserts itself. After all, unless completely broken, a habit pattern will reassert itself. 2 hours of meditation and 22 hours of freedom. What can one expect? It reasserts itself. But with this difference, the running amok is somewhat less frequent. The trumpeting less strident and the trampling less vigorous. For prior to the course, the beast gave its entirety to its wild behaviour, its nature both conscious and unconscious. But at the end of a 10-day course, a measure of that unconscious nature has been carried away, ameliorated, melted into nothingness. The same applies after successive courses. The Vipassana meditator does not go home from 1 or 5 or a dozen courses with his mind completely under control for the rest of his life. No. But each time he does come home, the beast is easier to handle. That is the mind. The beast is easier to handle. The wild running amok of old, the strident cries, the inconsiderate trampling of others becomes less in time. That completes number 3 in this series. I'll stop here. If there's a demand for this, I will continue on. If not, I will stop at this point. Make your comments, get back to me, and I'll take it from there.